Hey guys, and welcome back to another video of ECK Sports, and today I am back with another video. This time it is about Jimmy James Knorp. This should be a very interesting video, as today I'm going to see if Jimmy Knorp in this 2021 season has had the best season of all time. And that's a big statement, as MLW has been going on for 12 years? So there's been a lot of really good years. There's been a lot of seasons. There's been a lot of players. Today we're going to take a deep dive to everything and see if Jimmy Knorp in 2021 has had the best year of all time. Just a disclaimer, unfortunately you can't use stats because there's just so many different eras in this league, and back in 2010 you had guys hitting 20 home runs. Now you have guys hitting 10 at the top, so you can't do that. You just can't compare. And back in 2010 there was 5 players, now there's 60, so it's impossible to compare those years in terms of stats, but you can compare the impact on their team. And that's what I'm going to use in this video. So I'm going to kind of pack 2010 to 2012 together with Tommy and Kyle, because they obviously had great seasons, all of them 2010 through 2012. And the reason why they're getting knocked out here, and the reason why I'm saying that Jimmy Knorp had better years than both of them, is because they had each other. And they were both MVP level right next to each other. This year, while Jonah was great, while Michael Shima was good in 2 series, 2 and 1/3, and then Ben Wilson, he had 2 nice home runs this year. Did Jimmy Knorp have another MVP player right next to him? No. So that's what makes his season more valuable than Kyle and Tommy's in 2010 and 2012. Everybody says, why, usually everybody puts 2010 to 2013 in here. Everybody puts that group together. Well, I'm not, for one simple reason. And that's because in 2013, Kyle carried the Wildcats. Now, I know that's a kind of a bold statement, but it really isn't. If you look at the difference in numbers between Tom and Kyle, it's not that close. Kyle had more hits. He had more home runs, way more home runs. He had double the RBIs. He had 4 times the amount of home runs. His OPS was much better, slugging much better, on base much better. He had almost double the total bases. He struck out less. The thing in this year, and the problem with Tommy this year, was that if you just watch the games, he was rolling over like every ball. He was just grounding out to the first baseman every time. And then on the pitching side, he didn't necessarily carry them there because Tommy was very good pitching wise, but Kyle still pitched great. So Kyle's 2013 is definitely in high consideration. 2014, really the best year was Kyle Schultz. In that season, he pitched definitely the best, and his hitting was probably the second best. I think Warda's was probably slightly better, but it was definitely close. If you look at it though, if you look at his teammates, because that's the big thing here. Well, Noah Dabriko hit 378. He got 17 hits and a 1200 OPS. He only showed up to 9 games. And his other guys were nothing special, as Gable hit 250 with a 754 OPS, and Garricky hit 162 with a 581 OPS. For those other 5 games, Kyle had to do it all on his own. That definitely makes an impact on this. And then, of course, on the pitching side, I already said it. He led the league in ERA. I believe he led the league in strikeouts. He led the league in strikeouts by, a lot. He was on that year. So I would say 2014 Kyle Schultz is definitely high, because he was by far the best pitcher, and he was one of the top 2 hitters. He had, a 600 average. This is definitely going to be in consideration. In 2015, this is another tough one because, again, there's 2 of them. You can go with Daniel or you can go with Kyle. Once again, Kyle, of course. You always have to go with Kyle. I'll just go with Daniel for now because he won the MVP. Now, if you look at his pitching stats, he was not as good as Kyle pitching. But the reason why he's not even going to be in consideration here is because of how well his teammates hit. Clayton Price won Silver Slugger that year, had one of the best offensive seasons of all time. Brendan Schultz, when he played, which he played 8 out of 14 games, and Clayton played 11 out of 14 games. So that's something you have to consider. But when Brendan played, he batted .645 with a crazy high OPS at 1900. And then not to mention Ryan Cratched, who also was really good, 375, 1400 OPS, 11 home runs, 29 RBIs. He played 13 out of 14 games. So I just can't say Dan here. And then for Kyle, he had just as much help. Ryan Gable had a very good season, and he showed up to 11 of the games, and Noah showed up to 8 of them and also hit really well. And I know they were rolling with a lot of twos that year. They did a lot of Kyle and Ryan. They also did a lot of Kyle and Noah. So most of the games that Ryan didn't show up, Noah was playing. That's all get knocked out. 2016 also is interesting because Kyle, of course, had a very good season. And he didn't have anyone to back him up. He won the Triple Crown. And on the pitching side, he was third in ERA. He was really solid. He wasn't quite as good as the other guys, but was still unbelievable. And that's why he is going to be heavily considered into this. Now, you'll mention Dan, right? Of course he'll do that. He had a 1.09 ERA, absolutely amazing. But his hitting that year just wasn't at the top of the league, and Jimmy Knorp's has been this year, so that's why he gets knocked out. And even then, Ryan Crouch was just as good as an offensive player that year as Dan was. So I can't give this a Dan. And also for all these, I know I haven't really mentioned any of Alec Warda's years yet, because he hasn't pitched well. And that's kind of the thing with Knorp, is he's pitched well and hit well at the top of the league. Now you look at 2017, and I was just talking about Alec Warda. He had 89 strikeouts, which was tied for the top of the league, and his ERA was 4th. He was dominant that year. So if you look at his hitting, he carried the Preds, and it was not even close. Brennan Russell hit 140. Chad Renzi, when he played, hit 143, and Jack Agner hit 182. And Alec Warda, well, yes, he didn't hit for the highest average. He's still at 279. He had a very good OPS at 1,000. He had 22 RBIs. Now, here's the reason why Alec Warda gets knocked out. If Alec Warda had the numbers of Drew Davis that year or of Kyle Schultz that year, he would be in major consideration. But unfortunately, he's not, because he just wasn't quite at that level. And with Jimmy Knorp, he's been a top 3 hitter and pitcher. So you can't, I'm not considering anyone here who was not a top 3 hitter and pitcher that year in their league. And Alec Warda was probably the 4th best pitcher. He was probably, the 8th best hitter. So I don't know. I just can't put Alec Warda 2017 in here. So then you move on to 2018. And this is probably Jimmy Knorp's biggest competition, is Kyle Schultz 2018. As we all know, Kyle Schultz was on in 2018. He was the 2nd best pitcher by a lot. He was very, very good in 2018. He was probably the 2nd or 3rd best pitcher, probably 2nd to Tommy. Maybe it's somewhere, he's definitely in that top 3. Tom, Kyle, Daniel, somewhere in that mix. And then on the hitting side is where he carried. The dude hit 521 with an 1800 OPS, 13 home runs, 51 RBIs. He literally won the Triple Crown. Again, that's very good. Everybody knows that. He tied for the league in home runs. I know, go on the website and say, oh, Brendan Schultz had a higher average. He only played 3 games. That doesn't count. You add on that Kyle had won the Triple Crown, carried his team on both the hitting and pitching side. Because, if we're being honest, Zach Pierre did not play well, and neither did Brian Kelly. So this is definitely in heavy consideration. And then the next year is Daniel Schultz 2019. Now, he was on this year, and we all know this. But unfortunately, there's something that holds him back. Pitching, oh my gosh, Dan. He had the best pitching season of all time. What do you have, 85 strikeouts, a .2 ERA? Absolutely insane. But here's the thing. If I said this was it, then if I said this was in consideration, then I would have to say that Alec Warda's 2017 was in the same thing, because, it's a big difference, but the greatest pitching season of all time, and was the best by far, maybe not by far, but he was the best in the league that year. And while Alec Warda was 4th, that's the difference. You need to be a top 3 hitter and top 3 pitcher in that year, and Dan unfortunately was not. Dan's hitting was not at the top of the league. Yeah, he hit a ton of home runs. He hit 7 home runs, 23 RBIs. But here's the thing, though. You're going to take a lot of hitting over his. You're going to take Drew, Jack, Noah, Tommy, and maybe even Ryan all over him that year. So that's why Dan doesn't get it for me. But this is a very similar year to Alex 2017, because we all know how much Dan carried this year. And then in 2020, there's nothing, pretty much. There's really nothing that I can pinpoint from this year that would even go into any consideration. So before I say, we're going to go through Jimmy Knorp's stats, which are very good. Of course, this year, he has pitched to a 1.53 ERA, 1.53 whip, in 31.1 innings. He has 64 strikeouts, 21 walks, a 7-1 win-loss record, and 27 hits. So that's pretty good. And then if you look at his hitting, he hit 391 with 34 RBIs, 11 home runs, a 1,594 OPS, 1,000 slugging, and 30 walks. And then some more hitting numbers. In 96 plate appearances, he had 64 at-bats, so he was definitely playing a lot. He only struck out 25 times. He had 2 doubles, 2 triples, 25 hits, 32 runs, and he led the league in extra base hits with 15. So you see right there, Jimmy Knorp had a great year. So now you have to look at his teammates, because that's been the biggest thing, is looking at his teammates. Now, while he's had a backup pitcher, the hitting, while Michael Shima and Jonah Heath have been pretty good this year, they just haven't been elite. And that's the thing. Yes, they have 1,000 OPSs basically. If you think about it another way, they were hitting around 240, so it's not like they were the most consistent. Did they drive in runs? Yes. Did they hit home runs? Yes. But it's not like Knorp always had another guy to his side. 2010, 2012, Kyle and Tommy had each other every single time. 2015, Kyle had Ryan Gable and Noah Dabriko every game, who were literally top 5 along with him, hitting the ball. If you're looking at all this, I'm going to say where Jimmy Knorp stands and where I think he's in this entire area. So, obviously, I already said he's better than Tom and Kyle in 2010 to 2012. 2014, Kyle Schultz, that's kind of close, but again, Knorp is better. 2017, Alec Warda, 2017, Kyle Schultz. And the reason why I didn't talk about 2017 Kyle Schultz is because Zach Whalen was very good that season as well. And then, Dan had some other hitters as well. So, none of the 2017 players. 2019, Dan is out. It really comes down to 2018 Kyle, 2016 Kyle, and 2013 Kyle. That's what it all comes down to. Now, I think if you're looking at it all together, Tommy supported him at least. He at least supported him a little bit hitting-wise, and he was a very good backup pitcher. So that's why 2013 is going to be knocked out. In 2016, he had at least a fine hitter and Alex House next to him. And I know this is 2016. Kyle Schultz was a very underrated season. But if you look at this year next to Jimmy Knorp 2021 and Kyle Schultz 2018, I don't know where you put it. So what I'm saying are the best 3 seasons of all time, like individually, kind of like not like the best statistical seasons of all time, because that's different. I'm really just talking about team impact along with stats. The final 3 is 2018 Kyle Schultz, 2021 Jimmy Knorp, and 2016 Kyle Schultz. For my final list, at number 1, I'm going to have, because he did not have any backup pitching, he did not have any backup hitting, it was just him, only him, and that's why this is going 2018 Kyle Schultz. Now you ask where Jimmy Knorp is. 2021 Jimmy Knorp. Awesome year, went through his numbers, but overall, he is going to be number 3. I was very close to putting him number 2, but I think that 2016 Kyle Schultz carried his team a little bit more than Jimmy Knorp has, because at least Jimmy Knorp had that backup pitching, and he had that, he had some hitting as well. And it's very close with 2013 Kyle Schultz. I think that those 4 are definitely the top 4. But overall, I think my top 3 are 2018 Kyle Schultz, 2016 Kyle Schultz, 2021 Jimmy Knorp. Just crazy to think of how Jimmy Knorp he's right in there with the GOAT. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. And if you did enjoy, make sure you guys hit that like button, that subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. It was a very fun video to make. See you guys next time. Peace.